Sometimes we can meditate all we want, but life is still happening. Things still come in the way. And in Europe, we have been experiencing the first heat wave of this summer. And Petra and me, we were meditating or manifesting to have our own home or to go on a nice vacation during this extremely hot time. But it didn't fall into place just as we were hoping for. So when we realized that there will be this heat wave coming and it will also not cool down during the night, we knew that we will not be able to make it in the place we were living, because it's on the top floor, it's underneath the hot black roof, and it just never cools down. Even though we have a mobile AC, we sometimes try for a few hours, but as soon as you turn it off, the heat is back.
I don't really like also the comments from America, because there are people very much used to AC, that we don't have AC in Europe, you know.
I was on Reddit today and I was saying that Americans call us Euro poors because we can't afford AC or we don't want to install AC. And honestly, for me, it's also sometimes a little bit frustrating that in the past few years it has been getting a lot hotter than we both know from childhood. And I think it is a basic necessity for a lot of the homes, because they're just not built for this kind of heat. If they would have higher ceilings or different, architecture, then it would maybe work. But this way, if you can't function for several days in a row because you're just suffering in the heat, it's also not good for anything. We were really lucky in our case because Petra's father lives a little bit higher up in the mountains and he has a very big space, and he also has this little mountain cottage, forest cottage, and we were able to move there for this time.
It wasn't different, the temperatures were still the same as
it was still extremely
in
hot.
a valley, but yeah.
But we just decided, okay, let's do something about this. Let's take it in our own hands. We do 3D things. We're living in this 3D life, and it's absolutely fine. We can also find a lot of joy and adventure in this, because we then decided that we will sleep outside.
We ordered the net from Amazon,
which was absolutely
like mosquito
improving the sleeping.
Yeah.
It was a huge mosquito net that we could put on both of our yoga mats and tatami that we were sleeping on.
When you have it, you install it, you see all the stars, but safely without mosquitoes and all these bugs. So you can enjoy your time, even though we had it really warm also overnight. And in a forest which is full of wild animals, it is quite scary, but it is also about trust, about surrender, about connection, about that we had dogs next to us which are protecting, of course, and announcing to us when there is some danger possible. Sun is shining. And we, for example, have experienced those big deers walking around us because my father knows them, they know each other, he has names for them, and he knows where they exactly go and how they are behaving, and because they are used to him, he's talking to them. He has them right behind us. They go every day, and they are really big. They are like horses. And very impressive, beautiful animals, which we were blessed to see as well.
Yeah, they're not afraid. We saw them really up close. It's really special, and we would never have this experience if we would just try to cope that place that we were being before. And not everybody has this opportunity, of course, but we made it somehow. But the hut that we knew that we could go to, nobody was living in that hut for at least half a year. So it was full of spider webs, and when we got here, we were also surprised to see a lot of mouse droppings, which was a huge shock and disappointment.
So long story short, 4 days of cleaning all day, even during the biggest heat when we were in that hut. So now it is kind of livable like that, but it's...
And the heat wave will be over tomorrow, and we will probably go back again to our home. But even though this is completely different than what we were hoping for, to have like a nice vacation somewhere or to have our own home, we just made it happen. And there is this saying, chop wood, carry water. This is always going to be a part of life. And when we can be present in this time and we can enjoy it and open up and also surrender and trust, as you said, then we can also have a really wonderful experience, a wonderful adventure. And it wasn't super comfortable to sleep outside either. You know, there were a lot of ants in our bed. We didn't sleep really super
We
well.
basically mingled with nature.
Yeah.
But what's very important also for you is that if you have sometimes a possibility to sleep outside, do it, because your circadian rhythms are going to sync with the nature, which is natural flow, which we all miss. And we started to sync with the natural flow and with the sun, you know, and how it was rotating, because we were having no problem to wake up at 4 in the morning because sun is up, you know. We don't have any walls, we were sleeping outside, and it was time for our body.
Yeah,
And
we didn't have a chance either. We had to put down our sleeping place because it was getting hot super quickly.
yeah, it's very amazing that after first night, the body was very tired, you know, it didn't know what to do, what's happening, you know, it has to figure it out. But later it catches up and it actually enjoys it. The body loves the moon, you know, it was full moon. Basically today is a full moon day. And even though it was extreme light everywhere, I think the body is so used to it.
It's true, and I was also feeling that yesterday was the first night we were sleeping inside the hut, and I was not feeling tired that quickly in there, even though when we were outside we were also on our devices for a little bit, but I got tired so quickly and I needed to go to sleep. But when I was inside the hut, we didn't have lights on, but we were still on the device, and we could stay up until 11, 12, no problem, and I didn't really realize anything.
Yeah, but when you're outside, the sun says good night, and the moon is gonna rise in some time after that, and you have no other chance. Your body is so much in sync with these rhythms that you are just going to sleep. You know, the sleep has different quality, of course. When there is full moon, you have a lot of different experiences because it's like a light, but it's all natural. So try it and let us know in comments how you love it. If you have certain experiences with your body, for example, or if you feel better or energized.
Yeah, and I think also it's different than sleeping in a tent. We really had only the mosquito net that was protecting us, but I think even inside a tent it would feel different. It's still like it's closed and you're not part of nature. But it was also cool that we got up at 4 or 5 in the morning, and at 7 or 8 a.m. I was already making baked potatoes and zucchini, which I would usually do at 4 p.m.
We were basically all set with everything what we needed to do by 9.
It's really fun.
It's really amazing. You can be very productive this way. But what we found out that if you build some nest for yourself for sleeping, the other animals are starting to build nests around you and underneath you. So it's good to move your sleeping spot somewhere else, because they know you will come the next night, and they are building like their own nest around you. So
yeah,
it's
we
also
learned
very
about
good. Yeah.
ants' pheromone paths.
Yeah, and stuff like that.
Yeah. It was really adventurous, and we'll probably be here 1-2 more nights. Now the hut is set up for us, so we really cleaned it. It was a lot of work.
Yeah.
And if there will be another heat wave, we will come back. There were moments when I felt very frustrated, like, oh my gosh, we really have to deal now with mouse droppings, and we want to cook in the same
and
place.
all these things.
It was so much work.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was also like the benefits outweighed the downsides, and we knew that the place where we are living
Is very high temperatures. It wouldn't be
hotter than we have ever experienced there.
And also our friends which live in a normal block of flats and they have houses higher, they were even having stomach issues and problems, and also, for example, sheep here, maybe you hear them, died on the meadow because it was such a big heat that one died, and one baby sheep almost drowned because it wanted to drink. So it was quite intense and sad as well.
Yeah, it's a big tax on the body, and also extremely tough when you have to.
So I think that when we talk about ACs and all these dryers we have and all these amazing things which we are basically installing into our homes, which are supposed to help us, are basically making us more disconnected and are making the temperature of our planet even more. But that's my opinion. And if we all stopped producing these things and stopped using all these, because AC makes heat. At the
Of
end,
course.
it makes heat, produces a lot of heat because it cools your home, but it produces great amounts of heat. And what if nobody used it? Of course, in Florida and so on, I can't imagine that you wouldn't use AC. But if there would be, for example, here in Europe, a lot of trees, as they are supposed to be,
Exactly.
they hold so much humidity and coolness that we wouldn't have a problem. So we have to not think about how we are going to all install these ACs into our homes, but we have to think about what we are doing, that the temperature is increasing so much, and how we can think about it more into the core of the problem.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the reason why a lot of Europeans still don't install ACs, even though they experience it year after year, or if it's a cost.
Last year was okay.
Last year was a good year again as well, you know, it still cooled down again. But I personally would prefer to have a built-in AC, not a mobile one. But I also agree with Petra that if we really care about our nature and we are making sure that we have trees and forests and we don't just cut everything flat when we drive along the road. We see only 4 types of fields: sunflower, wheat, corn, or rapeseed. That's the only things that the farmers are growing year over year. It's still the same few things, and it's for cattle, for animals, and for making gasoline or oil.
They don't even call it
Vegetable
proper
oils.
names, they call it cattle. But I also feel that when they started to cut trees next to our home, where we live normally, I feel that we don't have really right to do this, because there is a lot of animals, birds, squirrels living in there. And when we cut the high grass, which is making the earth ready to receive heat, and when we cut the grass, there are baby deers, and it's all like having certain purpose. And we are just feeling that we are the primary beings here on this planet, and we are supposed to cut everything what we like and put down the tree. And we don't think about how many animals are dependent on one tree, you know. There is squirrels living, birds nesting, bugs, everything, the whole microbiome which they create, whole ecosystem, yeah. And they communicate with each other, you know, and it's a home for them.
I also really don't like when people keep cutting their lawns super low, and especially during this heat, that they keep cutting and moving it away, cutting and moving it away. When I was cutting the lawn,
and it looks like burned. It's just,
it is burned.
It's brown.
It's becoming a desert. And when I was cutting the lawn, I knew it's not going to rain for a few days. I left the grass there, or I went there and I spread it all over. I created a protection layer of it. You can't just still take away and expect it to infinitely grow back.
Yeah, our neighbor, for example, is a specialist in this, and he cuts his lawn very, very short. And when there is some weeds growing, he takes the worst pesticides.
Roundup, I think it's worldwide known.
And he is just using for that. I don't think it's I think it's forbidden now. I'm not sure about these things.
Here.
And yeah, so he uses this, and he is not afraid to poison huge trees and so on, just so he has it perfect for his mind.
Yeah.
And sometimes I feel that we have so limited mind that we are just focused very much on our own garden, our own problems, but we have to focus more wider. Sometimes it's very good to see it from a perspective of nature, you know. You know, there is animals going to your land which you own, but basically nobody make them sign contract that those are, you know, that your land and they can't access it.
They didn't even show passport, the animals.
Yeah, they are the consciousness. They are the divine consciousness, which is not having any limits, any borders, and they are just freely walking here. We are grateful for them that they walk around us. But
I was really mad about a bird that was still stealing our berries, and Petra's like, leave him, leave him. He is also hungry. Maybe he has to feed babies. No, those are my berries.
yeah, it doesn't feel good all the time that somebody steals from you, like mice, for example, steal from us, and we have to really do some things because we have to protect us as well, because they would eat our home, you know, if we allow them. But massive activities in nature without seeing consequences and
With any
feeling,
regard of nature, yeah.
then it's a bad thing. I think we will see more and more how disconnected we are, and it will all come back to how much we disconnected from nature and how much we will be grateful for connecting back and seeing that, hey, we don't need that much meat, we don't need that much wheat, and all these crazy fields of food. You know, if you go to supermarket, I believe that 90% of food there is not necessary. It's really great to sometimes go out of your comfort zone like we did. It was very beneficial for us to see it again, to feel it on our own, because this circadian rhythm, if you start to sync back with the sun and with the nature around us, and it is very intense nature, and they go to sleep certain times and they are active certain days, they are singing certain times, you know, and we had even birds nesting here and also in our home, and it's very interesting how the intelligence is so amazingly orchestrated, how it is organized, that they build nests certain way so it holds for years. For example, we have storches here,
Yeah.
and their nest is there for tens of years. And for example, they have meetups at the end of the summer. They have meetings
Gatherings,
on
yeah.
gatherings, like they are having a like 1 or 2 hours meeting, and then they leave, and again next day they do that, and one day they just decide to fly away from here for
Yeah.
winter.
We don't have to book a safari to Africa to experience
Yeah.
these miracles of nature. We can have it right in front of our house if we just pay attention to it.
The only thing which is a disadvantage, it's not really Instagram friendly. It's not picture friendly and
Yeah,
dopamine friendly.
That's true.
It is really something what we are. It's our birthright, and I wish that everybody could have this experience in their life, because I know it's certain discomfort. You know, you sleep outside, you have to be aware of you have your head torch, you have your water, you know where to go to
There
the
are going to be
bathroom.
bugs anyways, even if you have a net.
Yeah, it is a certain discomfort, but out of this discomfort you can choose either to be mad about your experience, or you can see, hey, I actually feel energized. Why? You know, why do I feel energized and I feel normally drained? You know, when I, for example, wake up in the morning and it's summer and it's hot.
And also eating outside is just such a different experience than eating food at home. A watermelon in the morning on the terrace, it's incredible.
I was on a retreat, on a meditation retreat in Croatia, and we had early mornings starts, and I used to buy a watermelon and I went next to the sea and I ate the watermelon on the beach. Basically, I was absolutely alone and I was looking at the sea, and I didn't have to be in a super expensive hotel. You can just do it also for free, because you just have an access, and people are in their homes because they were under artificial light, then they could stay up longer and they sleep longer, so you will take an advantage of early
true
rising.
that the house is really like putting us in a capsule, really in a like hygienic capsule away from all nature. And even though we didn't have the light on at night, we were having completely different rhythm than if we would be outside. I don't know if it's the air or the moon or the stars, whatever. It's just feeling very different. But I also understand why some people really want to have everything perfect and symmetrical. And
It's great. It's great.
because when we were in this hut and it was so messy, and it's also built in a very simple way. And yesterday we were going to the physiotherapy, and it's a modern praxis, and it's so, it was such a relief for me to look at this. It's all clean, it's brand new.
Then you can even
it feels very
appreciate it.
calming.
You can appreciate it more later, but also we can allow us to have it. I feel that we can allow us to have like these civilized things in our life, of course, absolutely. But let's not forget about the connection. Let's give to our body what our body was made for. Because every moment when we are outside, we are getting into our nervous system through our pineal gland certain wavelengths of light, which we will never get under the monochromatic light indoors, because there is only
Yes.
one wavelength.
And I think not
which you're
even
getting.
in a tent that is closed, not even there you get it the same level.
It's better, but I think that when you experience certain chemicals are created just under certain wavelengths. It's like a laser light, then you just inform the body, inform the whole system that there is something happening and you are in sync.
Yeah, it's fascinating to
I
experience
just,
our body.
I think it was
this.
like an advertisement for you to go in a nature, and you will all go.
Just buy a mosquito net,
Yeah.
a big one that you
Yeah.
can put over your sleeping spot, and enjoy it.
And of course, be safe, be with your dog, and have like essential oils to protect you from all the insects and so on. Yeah.
We originally wanted to give you the message that, you're doing the meditations, you're creating your future, but sometimes things don't happen the way you expect. And you might want to have all these synchronicities in your life where things just fall in place perfectly for you, and it's the divine. But that's not how it always works, I feel. And it's also absolutely fine when life is just happening and there's coming this heat wave, and you wouldn't make it at night in sleeping. And then you start to improvise and you just work with what you have.
It doesn't work the way our brain is able to imagine it. It always works the way outside of limits of our limited thinking.
Yeah. So because we were here and we had it quite messy and we had a lot of work for a few days, does it mean now
A
it's
lot
not
of
from
work.
the divine?
Yeah.
It was still a really wonderful experience because we also allowed ourselves to enjoy the good things. And I could walk around naked. There's nobody here. It's really freeing.
Yeah, he was so happy. Look how he's smiling.
Yes, that's what makes me glow the most.
Yeah, it makes you glow. He was so happy. He can even go to the bathroom with his hands behind his, head, and he can go just there, and he can.
All right.
Yeah. Okay.
FKK. Yeah. No, it was really wonderful experience, and we want you to also remember that chop wood, carry water is a normal part of life, and it's not something that we have to walk around and just have our perfect vision board life. There's also a lot of wonderful magical things happening in between the moment you decide you want to create something and that creation or manifestation to come into your life.
Life happens in between.
Yes, that's true. Thank you so much for being with us. Don't ever forget you're unlimited. And if you would like to share some more time with us, we also have this video here for you next.